What is the meaning of meaning? Philosophers have reflected on this for thousands of years, yet people who share a language can understand what is said to them and also produce strings of words that are meaningful to other speakers. Enter semantics. This is the branch of linguistics that deals with the study of meaning, changes in meaning, and the principles that govern the relationship between sentences or words and their meanings. Nowadays, interaction between information systems need to be more open. And because of this, it is crucial to formally represent and apply the semantics that these systems deal with. So, why is semantics important? In order to understand the language, we need to know the meaning of the words and morphemes that compose it. We must also know how the meanings of words combine into phrases and sentences. And finally, we must consider context when determining meaning. All this semantic knowledge also forms a basis for enabling machine computable logic, deduction, knowledge discovery, and data federation between information systems. Semantics is central to the study of communication. As communication is an increasingly important factor in social organization, the need to understand becomes more and more pressing. Semantics is also at the center of the study of the human mind, thought processes, and construction of the world around us. All these are closely connected with how we classify and communicate our experience of the world through language. Semantics studies how meaning is constructed, clarified, illustrated, negotiated, and so on. However, semantics covers many different disciplines like philosophy or linguistics. Hence, especially considering the numerous approaches to semantics and their unclear interaction, this subject may seem a bit confusing. So, semantics is a branch of linguistics, which is a study of language. It interacts with study of syntax and phonology. A person's linguistic abilities are based on their knowledge. We now know what speakers of a language have different types of linguistic knowledge. For instance, how to pronounce words, how to construct sentences, and knowledge about the meaning of individual words and sentences. To reflect this, linguistic description has different levels of analysis. The most widely accepted definition of semantics is given by Breal as the science of the meanings of words and of the changes in their meaning. So, I started with a short overview of what is semantics, and now I will explain how semantics relates to information management. Coming back to information systems, we can say that formal language used in ontology can encode the meanings of concepts in a form that does not change. In order to establish the meaning of a specific word or term in a database, each fixed concept representation in ontology must be labeled. So, information management deals with data and different databases, how to handle and process it, to enable the interoperability between different systems, and that technological tools use terms understandable to everyone. Also, semantics have always been crucial to the construction of information systems. As discussed, data and semantics are strongly related. Therefore, when talking about semantics in that context, we often have to ask the following questions. What kinds of data can we use? What advantages and disadvantages do they have? And how do we evaluate the different possible types of data? How do sources of data relate to each other? So, accordingly, we need to pay attention to semantics when processing data. Hence, some kind of tools and solutions are required. So, this brings us to business semantics management, which enables businesses and stakeholders to harmonize the metadata itself. It provides patterns which can be used to establish the semantic alignment between underlying data structures. Business semantics management empowers all stakeholders by offering consistent and aligned definitions of important information assets of businesses. We can say that business semantics are information concepts that live in organization, clear for both business and IT. Business semantics describe the business concepts as they are used and needed by the business instead of describing the information from a technical point of view. One important aspect of business semantics is that they are shared between unrelated data sources. Many data sources share the semantics but have different syntax or format to describe the same concept. Several approaches can be used, such as UML and object role modeling. Business semantics management is based on two complementary process cycles, each grouping a number of activities. The two cycles communicate with each other via the unification process. This double process cycle is iteratively applied until an optimal balance of differences and shared features between the stakeholders is reached that meets the semantic integration requirements. Talking about first cycle, we have to follow different activities such as scope, create, refine, and articulate. First, the community is scoped, meaning that user roles and affordances are appointed. Next, relevant facts are collected from documentation such as natural language descriptions, logical schemas, or other metadata. This scope is then separated into components in the context of elicitation. The product is an initial upper common ontology of key patterns that are shared and accepted by the community. These patterns define the current semantic interoperability requirements of a business. Once all of this is scoped, all stakeholders can refine and semantically articulate these common patterns. The final result can be used for constructing business semantics that are articulated with informal meaning descriptions. Now, moving on to the second cycle, semantic application, this is made up of two activities. These are select and commit. The select phase covers combined patterns of business semantics. In the commit phase, they are bound with scoped information systems. First, we need to select the relevant patterns from the created pattern base. Then, the interpretation of this selection has to be semantically limited. Different scoped sources as well as services should be mapped on that basis. So, all in all, we can say that the available business semantics can be employed in the so-called business social layer of an organization. For example, they can be easily linked to a content management application, for instance. This would provide the business with a consistent business vocabulary or enable better navigation or classification of information. In addition, business semantics can be used by enterprise search engines, for instance, utilized to make a richer semantic web-ready websites and so on. And finally, business semantics can also be used to increase operational efficiency in the technical or operation layer of the organization. It provides a kind of abstracted, merged, and virtualized way to access and deliver data in a more efficient and unified way. In that respect, it is similar to enterprise information integration with the added benefit that the shared models are not described in technical terms, but in a way that it is easily understood by business. So that was a short introduction to semantics and how to manage business semantics in general. Thank you for your time.